Former President Donald Trump issued a stark warning to the BRICS nations. He cautioned them against challenging the dominance of the US dollar. Trump's stance is clear. He believes the US dollar must remain the world's primary reserve currency. He has repeatedly emphasized this point. His warnings have been direct and unambiguous. Trump's stance reflects a broader concern. The United States has long enjoyed unparalleled economic and geopolitical influence. This influence stems in part from the dollar's global dominance. Trump's warnings have not gone unnoticed. The BRICS nations, however, have largely remained defiant. They see the current global financial system as inherently unfair. They are determined to forge an alternative. This alternative centers on reducing reliance on the US dollar. The BRICS nations have a compelling case. The US dollar's dominance has given the United States an outsized ability to influence the global economy. This influence can be used for good, it can also be used for ill. The BRICS nations are keenly aware of this. They are determined to level the playing field. Trump's warnings highlight a growing tension. The global financial system is undergoing a period of profound change. The BRICS nations are at the forefront of this change. They are challenging the established order. The outcome of this struggle remains uncertain. One thing is clear: the stakes are incredibly high. The US dollar's reign as the world's reserve currency is no accident of history. It was cemented by the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement. This agreement pegged the dollar to gold. It established the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. These institutions would play a pivotal role in shaping the post-war economic order, an order largely favorable to the United States. The Bretton Woods system collapsed in 1971. President Nixon severed the dollar's link to gold. Yet the dollar's dominance persisted. Several factors contributed to this enduring dominance. The U.S. economy was the largest in the world. It boasted deep and liquid financial markets. The dollar was widely used in international trade and finance. The 1970s saw the emergence of the petrodollar system. Oil-producing nations, particularly those in the Middle East, agreed to sell oil in U.S. dollars. This further solidified the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. It gave the United States an enviable position. The U.S. could print the world's reserve currency. This provided the U.S. with significant economic and geopolitical leverage. The dollar's dominance has not been without its critics. Some argue it gives the U.S. an unfair advantage. It allows the U.S. to run large trade deficits. It exposes the world to the risks of U.S. economic mismanagement. These criticisms have grown louder in recent years. This is due in part to the rise of emerging economies. It is also due to concerns about the long-term sustainability of the U.S. economy. Brazil, under the leadership of President Lula da Silva, has emerged as a vocal critic of the U.S. dollar-dominated financial system. Lula has called for a shift away from the dollar. He has championed the use of local currencies in international trade and finance. His vision is clear. He wants to create a more equitable and just global financial system. Brazil has taken concrete steps to reduce its own reliance on the US dollar. It has promoted the use of its own currency, the real, in trade with its neighbors. It has also been a driving force behind the development of regional payment systems. These systems are designed to bypass the US-dominated SWIFT network. One notable example is the local currency payment system. This system facilitates cross-border payments in local currencies between Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Brazil has also been instrumental in the development of BRICS Pay. This decentralized payment system aims to rival the likes of Visa and MasterCard. It allows for cross-border transactions in local currencies. Brazil's efforts extend beyond regional initiatives. The country has been actively seeking to expand its currency swap arrangements with other emerging economies. These arrangements allow central banks to exchange currencies. This provides a safety net against currency fluctuations. It reduces reliance on the US dollar. Brazil's financial reforms have not gone unnoticed. They have been praised by other developing countries. These countries see Brazil as a leader in the fight for a fairer global financial system. Brazil's actions are a clear sign. The country is serious about challenging the US dollar's dominance. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have become a potent symbol of the shifting global economic landscape. These emerging economies have experienced remarkable growth in recent decades. They are now major players on the world stage. They are increasingly assertive in their pursuit of their own economic and geopolitical interests. The BRICS have a shared goal. They want to reform the global financial system. They believe the current system is skewed in favor of the West. They are calling for greater representation for developing countries in international financial institutions. They are also pushing for a greater role for their own currencies in global trade and finance. The BRICS have taken concrete steps to achieve their goals. They have established the New Development Bank. This bank is seen as an alternative to the World Bank and the IMF. It provides funding for infrastructure projects in developing countries. The BRICS have also set up the Contingent Reserve Arrangement. This arrangement provides a safety net for member countries facing short-term balance of payments difficulties. The BRICS efforts have been met with a mixture of hope and skepticism. Some see the group as a potential counterweight to the West. They believe the BRICS can help create a more equitable and just global order. Others doubt the BRICS' ability to overcome their internal differences. They question whether the group can truly challenge the existing financial order. Section 5. De-dollarization, a global trend. The BRICS are not alone in their quest to reduce reliance on the US dollar. De-dollarization has become, a growing trend in recent years. Countries around the world are seeking to diversify their foreign exchange reserves. They are exploring alternative currencies for international trade and investment. This trend is driven by a number of factors. One factor is the growing dissatisfaction with the US dollar's dominance. Many countries are concerned about the risks associated with holding large amounts of US dollar reserves. These risks include currency fluctuations, inflation, and the potential for US economic mismanagement. The weaponization of the US dollar through sanctions has also accelerated the push for alternatives. Another factor is the rise of new economic powers. China in particular has emerged as a major challenger to the US. The Chinese economy is now the second largest in the world. It is rapidly expanding its global influence. China has been actively promoting the use of its own currency, the yuan, in international trade and finance. Technological advances are also playing a role in de-dollarization. The emergence of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology has created new possibilities for cross-border payments and settlements. These technologies have the potential to bypass traditional financial intermediaries. They could reduce reliance on the US dollar. Section 6. The BRICS expansion, a strategic masterstroke. The BRICS nations have embarked on a bold expansion strategy. They have invited 6 new members to join their ranks. These new members are Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. This expansion marks a significant shift in the global balance of power. It reflects the BRICS' growing influence. It also highlights the desire of many countries to forge an alternative to the Western-dominated world order. The inclusion of these new members is strategically significant. Argentina, Egypt, and Ethiopia add to the BRICS' agricultural prowess. Saudi Arabia and the UAE bring their vast oil wealth to the table. Iran, with its large reserves of natural gas, further strengthens the group's energy portfolio. This expansion is a clear signal. The BRICS are serious about challenging the existing global order. They are building a bloc of countries that are united in their desire for a fairer and more equitable world. The expansion has sent shockwaves through Western capitals. It has raised concerns about the future of the US-led world order. Section 7. The potential fallout of a currency war. The BRICS' push for de-dollarization has raised concerns about a potential currency war. A currency war occurs when countries deliberately devalue their currencies. They do this to gain a competitive advantage in international trade. Currency wars can be damaging to the global economy. They can lead to protectionism, trade barriers, and economic instability. The US has long benefited from the dollar's dominance. It has enjoyed lower borrowing costs. It has been able to run large trade deficits. If the dollar were to lose its reserve currency status, the US economy would suffer. Interest rates would likely rise. The US would have to reduce its trade deficit. This could lead to slower economic growth. A currency war would be detrimental to all involved. It would undermine global trade. It would stifle economic growth. It is in everyone's interest to avoid such a scenario. However, the risk of a currency war cannot be ignored. It is a real threat. It could have severe consequences for the global economy. Section 8. A multipolar world, a new reality. The BRICS challenge to the US dollar is part of a broader trend. The world is moving towards a multipolar system. This means a world with multiple centers of power. The US will remain a major power. but it will no longer be the sole superpower. This new reality requires a fundamental reassessment of global governance. The current international institutions, such as the United Nations, the IMF and the World Bank, were designed for a unipolar world. They reflect the power dynamics of the post-World War II era. These institutions need to be reformed. They must reflect the realities of a multipolar world. A multipolar world presents both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, it could lead to greater cooperation and stability. With multiple powers balancing each other, no single country would be able to dominate the others. On the other hand, a multipolar world could also lead to greater competition and conflict. If not managed effectively, this competition could escalate into a new Cold War. Section 9. The future of global finance, a shifting landscape. The future of global finance is uncertain. The US dollar's dominance is being challenged. New currencies and payment systems are emerging. Technological advances are disrupting traditional financial institutions. The global financial system is in a state of flux. The BRICS nations will continue to play a major role in shaping the future of global finance. They are pushing for a more equitable and just financial system. They are promoting the use of their own currencies. They are developing alternative payment systems. The outcome of these efforts remains to be seen. However, one thing is clear. The global financial system is undergoing a profound transformation. This transformation will have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. It will reshape the balance of power in the world. It will determine the winners and losers in the 21st century.